Hey, hey, there we are. Now we're live. Now we're live. Welcome back, everyone. We have a new format, a whole new format now. This is the IELTS Cafe. Do you like it? I'm in some new location. So the reason I wanted to do this, the IELTS Cafe, is to help you get the highest score that you are capable of in any English exam you do. So that's IELTS, EIKEN, TOEFL, TOEIC, any Cambridge exam, any English exam you need to have certain criteria and they cover all of those exams. So I'm here to help you get to that level. First of all, I've written a poll in the comments and I'm curious what it's looking like right now. What are you studying for? Are you studying IELTS, TOEIC, something else? I'm really curious. At the moment, IELTS is winning. Some people for EIKEN. A lot of people for TOEFL as well. Interesting. Where are you watching from, by the way? I'm really interested. Kevin, hey in Lakeland, Florida. Unabi in Kiev. Good to see you again, buddy. How you doing? El Yuse from Spain. Always a pleasure. The place looks good. I know. It's very quiet. You can see no one else is here. It's just me today. This is it's just me and you. It's just us two. So, how is everyone doing? Hey, from Germany, from France. Hello, I'm just giving everyone a chance to join, and then we can really get going here. Also, don't worry, if you're late to these, ever, I will save them and upload them as a normal video. So don't worry if you miss these. You can always watch them later. Hey, Chala, how you doing, buddy? Okay, I'll be here for any questions you have throughout today's session. Ask them in the comments. If you want me to teach something specific, use the super chat feature. I do requests, so if you need to learn something specific, let me know. If you want to support the channel by buying me a coffee, you can do that. Also, a super chat or a super sticker, it really helps the channel out. Likewise, pressing like on this video. So, here's the thing. Loads of students ask me, how can I get a band 9 in IELTS? How can I get the highest score in TOEFL, TOEIC, EIKEN? How can I do that? I want to improve my speaking. I want to improve my listening. I want to improve my reading. I always ask, okay, how do you practice? And usually they're like, well, I don't have much time. Or maybe I practice a little bit, but I know I should practice more. Well, there's the first thing. You need to practice as much as you possibly can, because think of the English exams like building muscle in a gym. If you go once a month, it's okay, but you're not going to progress. You need to go constantly. You need to make it your whole life. You need to be a nerd about these things. It's like any other thing. The more you are, I would say, obsessed with it, I think that really helps. Hello, Keiko. Hello, Maya. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time, welcome. Yeah, so how often do you practice? How do you practice? Let me know in the chat. I'm kind of curious. So these classes, these are designed to help you get the best score you can. If you are, let's say, a band 6 student, you can't trick your way to a band 9 overnight. You can't trick the exams. There are certain strategies you can learn. There are certain techniques which will help you, but ultimately these exams are very well made. You can't trick them. Reading magazines is a great is a great option. Which magazines, though? This is a very important question. Which magazines? I practice watching Netflix, Beba Jimenez. Netflix is a great option. Watching CNN, okay, you're getting some more academic topics. And that's kind of where I'm going with today. So here's what you need to do in order to achieve those high levels in your English exam. You need to, first of all, this session here is designed to do is boost your vocabulary. Because, well, no, that's too simplistic. It's one thing to have a good vocabulary. It's another thing to be able to use it in a natural way. So it's really important, like I said before, that you don't try to cheat the exam. It's important that you just are good. And that's what I'm here to help you with. I'm not here to help you cheat. I'm here to help you actually be good at English and pass this exam. That's what I'm here for. I do IELTS every day and I learn one skill each day. Each day? You do one skill each day? Oof, you must be exhausted after that. Wow. Okay, so here's the thing. You need to... Sorry, I'm trying to like read the comments and focus on this. I'm not good at multitasking. You have to know this about me. If you're new to my channel, I'm really bad at multitasking. I'll try to keep focused, which is another IELTS skill you need. Focus. When I do IELTS exams with my classes, I'll do the same test that my class does because I need to understand, okay, you will have problems at this point, and this is why. And I know that focus is a huge problem. Obviously, I'm a native speaker. Obviously, I've been teaching for years. And I have problems with IELTS, specifically, because it demands focus. Other than focus, yeah, vocabulary is a great thing to improve. Why? Because it shows you have more command over English. And how do we do that? It's not just, let's say, in your speaking exam. If you drop the 10 last idioms you learned, or the 10 last Band 9 vocabulary words that you learned, your examiner knows that you just learned it and that you don't really know it. So again, this is what these IELTS Cafe sessions are here to help you with. Yes, I'm going to teach you these words. Yes, I'm going to teach you vocabulary. But more importantly, I'm going to teach you how to use them, how to learn them, and how you can just speak English without tricking anyone. You actually just speak English. That is the key here. Don't try and trick people. Just speak English. That is the key point. Aviation. Hi from Japan. I think... Is it showing? It is. Good. I think the highest grade of EIKEN is EIKEN 1, not EIKEN 5. It is. It is. It is. I put that wrong on the... Was it the thumbnail? I think I put it wrong in the thumbnail. But you know what? Anyone can get an EIKEN 5. So there you go. You're already done. Good job. Does studying with cake matter? Do you mean the cake you can eat? Or the app? That really depends. Paulina, hi from Poland. Hi, Paulina. You just got my ebook. Thank you for getting the ebook. Ismi, when I try to speak English, sometimes I'm scared someone will laugh at me. If people laugh at you for your English, they are the problem, not you. Think about if someone tries to speak your language, would you laugh at them? No, because you're not a asshole. Can I say asshole? I think I can. Yeah. So, yeah. Man, if they laugh at you, punch them in the face. That's my advice. Don't stand for that bullshit. So, also, my question for you today, and this is the topic: when you go to someone's house, what do you do? Do you do shoes on or shoes off? When you enter someone's house or when you're in your own house? Yeah, what do you do? Oh, whoops. There we go. Saving my rubbish drawing. So when you go to someone's house, yeah, do you ask what is customary in your country, in your culture? In England, you always ask. If someone comes to my house and doesn't ask, oh, shoes on or shoes off? That's very bad manners. Very bad manners. I have seen some people who leave their shoes on in their own house and in other people's house. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Seriously. Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. In one. I've seen where the EIKEN thing was. There we go. There we go. So shoes off in Korea. Yeah, I would say same in England. It depends a lot though. Like I say, I've seen people who leave their shoes on in their own house. Like, why? Why would you do that? You walk in the streets with those shoes. Gross. Gross. Natasha. Because I think watching series in English with English subtitles is very effective, very efficient. Yes, it can be. It can be. Eventually, you want to turn the subtitles off. If not just to test yourself. If not just to listen to the sounds of the intonation, sounds of which words we stress, how we stress a sentence. And that is another important point of these classes. What I want you to focus on is not just the word that you learn, but how you say it, how you use it in a sentence. Do you stress it? Is it a weak word? In what context do you use it? Those are the things you will be judged on in the exams. One student I saw the other day used what was it? They used an idiom. It might have been out of the blue. And it was obvious they just learned that idiom because they said, last weekend, my parents-in-law visited me. It was out of the blue. And I don't like them, or something like that, right? But it was really obvious that out of the blue was a brand new idiom, a brand new bit of vocabulary. So this is what I want you to take away from today's session and all my IELTS sessions is, yes, it's good to know the word, but it's more important to use it naturally. That's what I'm here to help you with. I want to get you to the natural English point. It's not just, I know the word, it's, I can use this like a native speaker. I can use this like I've been speaking English all my life. That is the goal. That's what I'm going to get you to. Ashley Chen, hello from Taiwan. Good evening. I choose shoes off. I do too, Ashley. I agree with you. Irene, shoes off, of course, I'm Korean. Yeah. Do you have slippers? Like guest slippers? I've seen... I think the last time I went to Korea, some of my friends had slippers next to the door. Like, you walk in the door, take your shoes off, your outside shoes, then you get in house slippers. I love that. I don't have that, but I want that because my feet are always cold. If nothing else, to save my cold feet. Yeah. Same goes for business English. Knowing the phrases is not enough, but not when to use them is better. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. I'm highlighting comments right there, the good ones. Yeah. Why is it bad? Well, I'll give you an example later, but just know that yeah, if it's obvious that you've just learned this word and you're not using it in a natural way, it's very jarring. What does jarring mean? Jarring means it makes you have this reaction. It's like, huh? It takes you out of the moment. It's not easy to follow the conversation. And when you're not following easy, the communication breaks down. So yeah, the communication is key. The most important thing. Alrighty, let's get started, I think. So we've discussed shoes on or shoes off inside the house, and this is the topic of today. Not exactly about. No, it is. It is. So also, when you learn vocabulary for any exam, when you learn vocabulary, it's really important that you learn topic-specific vocabulary. So yes, reading magazines is good. Yes, watching CNN or watching any news show is good. However, it needs to be topic-specific. So in your exam, and you get this topic, you're like, oh, okay, I have read articles about this topic. I have seen documentaries about this topic. I already have a lot of vocabulary and knowledge about this. I can talk about it. I feel confident. That is where I want to get you to. So, yeah, shoes on or shoes off. If you're a shoes on person, hopefully today will change your mind, because today I think this counts as a health. I think this counts as a health topic or a science topic. So the topic of today is this. This is an article from, I think it was the New York Times. Is it New York Times? I think it's New York. No. It's The Times. It's a British newspaper, The Times. Yeah, but it's in New York. That was it. I knew I was half right. Yeah, so they did a study on... Oh, that's another good word. They did a study on fecal bacteria on the sidewalk. So American English, they say sidewalk. British English, we say pavement because we're better at everything. And if you disagree, we'll come and take your land. We're British, that's what we do. So the fecal bacteria is a fancy way to say what? Write the word in the comments. Fecal bacteria, what does it mean? What if your feet smell bad? Well, I say a smelly foot is preferable to a dirty shoe. But that's my opinion. You know, other people might disagree. It's poop. Exactly, Francesco. Let me highlight your message. Nice. It's poo. Exactly. Fecal bacteria is the more scientific way to say poop. Fecal, I think, translates well in Latin. So Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, you already knew. But any other languages, Vietnamese, Thai, Japanese, Chinese probably doesn't translate easy. So fecal, feces. These are, can I, no, does that go high enough? It doesn't. Interesting. Maybe. No. Yeah, so fecal feces, that's the noun, the scientific noun for poop. There it is, feces. Fecal, that is the adjective. We're off to a good start. You can tell this is a Papa Teach Me lesson because we're talking about poo in a scientific way. Alrighty, let's go. So I will read this article to you. This way you get the listening and you get the intonation. Then we will cover all of the vocabulary. And I have something very interesting to show you about this article. You will be quite shocked, I think. So this article is from the Times. You know that the Times is like a respected newspaper. You know that it's quite it's going to be high level vocabulary. When you read an article, usually how much of that article do you understand in percentage? So any article, you're like, okay, I understood 60%, I understood 20%, I understood 70, 80%. When you read any article in English, what percentage do you usually understand? When I read another language article, oh man, I'm very low. Like Spanish, if I'm reading a book, I'm like 30% maximum. I have to stop, get my dictionary every 5 minutes. Very annoying. Aliona, 80%, that is high. Very high. So that's interesting. Aliona said 80%. Do you think her level would be C1, C2, B2, B1? What do you think? And Aliona, what do you think your level is? Have you taken an exam? What is your examined level? Ooh, Vasil. 90, 95? Ooh. Okay, I love the confidence there. You ladies, 95? Okay, nice. I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm only at 95 to 90. Sometimes there are words I'm like, wait, what? I've never seen this word before. Virendra, 55. Okay, so also I want you to feel comfortable with this. If you're a B1, B2 student, I'm here to help you get to C1, C2. I'm here to help you improve. So don't panic. You're in good hands. Okay, Aliona says, I think it's between B2 and C1. All right. Well, yeah, I've got something very interesting to show you after we read this together. So I'm going to read this to you. Try to follow along. So, okay, we'll start at the top. Fecal matter is rampant on New York sidewalks, researchers find. So already, we've got our first tip. When you see a word that you don't immediately understand, in this case, rampant. Okay, I don't know what that word means. What does it mean? How can I understand that? Well, okay, just from context, I'm not really sure. What does that mean? What do you think it means? Write in the comments. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Just from context, what do you think rampant means? Pronunciation, rampant. That is a schwa. P. Rampant. Rampant. Say it with me. Rampant. Oh, whoops. There we go. Uncontrolled. Yes. Rampant. It's everywhere. It's uncontrolled. For example, in, oh my God, 3 years ago. COVID was 3 years ago. Seriously 2023 right now? Is it seriously 2023? Yeah, okay, so 3 years ago, in January, COVID was around. But around, what was it, March, April time? COVID was rampant. It was everywhere. It was uncontrolled. That's a perfect example of rampant. So, that is, now you get the idea of the topic of today. Poo is uncontrolled on New York sidewalks. And you know the British word for sidewalk, pavement. Researchers find. So they did research on this. Co-author advises taking off your shoes at the door after studying dog poop on the Upper East Side. If you've been to New York, they separate it by Upper East, Lower East, Upper West, Lower West, Central. I don't know. New York is a different planet, I feel. It's very similar to London, but also very different. I'll do a quick question and then we'll read, I promise. How should we read magazine stories with a dictionary or without? Or read 2 times without a dictionary and 3 times with a translator? Too many options. Read it once. Make a list of vocabulary you don't know. Try to learn from context. Check with a dictionary if you're right. You don't need to make it too difficult. Simple is better. Yeah. Okie doke, let's read together. Oh, look at those dogs, they look cute. Okay, this little caption reads, the study warns of the risk of tracking poop bacteria around the house. Researchers at New York's Marymount College have published a study that, in its essence, attempts to establish how much dog poop footwear carries into the homes of New Yorkers on the affluent Upper East Side. Got any vocabulary yet? Make notes. If any words that you don't know, make notes. The study, released to the Indoor and Built Environment Journal, concludes that there is a strong argument for leaving your outside shoes at the door, or risk tracking fecal bacteria around the house. Taking your shoes off is a no-brainer. The study's co-author Alessandra Leri, a chemistry professor at Marymount, told Gothamist. Gothamist is a publication, a website, a newspaper. You don't need to know that word. But the study may be more interesting for the manner in which it was conducted and how it is likely to feed into neuroses about dogs and dog poop that inform countless battles between dog owners, community boards, city authorities, and others, elected or merely self-appointed, who monitor the city's ebb and flow of sanitation. There was a lot of crouching on the sidewalk with sterile pipettes, Larry told the outlet. The outlet is the publication. We will do vocabulary after, but I just have to show you. A pipette. I have one prepared. If you have a skincare routine, like I have with my hyaluronic acid, I'm in my 30s, I need one. This is a pipette. So you might notice scientists use these for experiments. This is a pipette. Oh, that's this word, pipette. Oh God. There we go. That's a pipette. Larry told the outlet newspaper. But inside surfaces, researchers used tape to collect samples and then let the bacteria eat on fluorescent nutrients that could be examined in the lab. The study comes as dog ownership in the city has exploded during the pandemic. With it, a shortage of dog walkers has materialized as workers grudgingly return to offices. A recent New York Times article estimated that pet entrepreneur, or dog walker, catering to the wealthy can earn more than $100,000 annually. For walking a dog, I'm in the wrong job. For hanging out with dogs, that's so much money. Anyway, But with more dogs comes an inevitable increase in fecal production, and city authorities have vowed to crack down on pet owners who fail to correctly bag up, with a $250 fine for failure to remove canine dog waste. The law does not apply to a guide dog accompanying any blind person. Researchers said they avoided taking scientific samples from areas obviously contaminated. They instead identified areas of sidewalks that appeared uncontaminated, where they found approximately 31,000 fecal bacteria per travel-sized bottle of pooled rainwater on city sidewalks. I hope this is just New York. This is gross. That density of intestinal microbes decreased on surface samples taken progressively further into buildings under examination, and was higher on carpets than on adjacent uncarpeted flooring. That makes sense. Overall, our evidence indicates ubiquity of FIB, fecal indicator bacteria, on sidewalks, and translocation, movement, pathway via shoe soles, bottom of shoes, and accumulation on indoor floor surfaces, particularly carpeted areas. So disgusting. It's so gross. It's so gross. Have a new job you're cut out for. I know. I would be a great dog walker. I would be an amazing dog walker. Be so good. So there's a lot of vocabulary there that we're going to go through. We're going to analyze. And you're going to learn how to use it. I think there's a really interesting paragraph. Where is it? This one. Oops. Oh, well, I mean, it's this. I can do this. I'm doing this blind. This one. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Almost perfect. Oof. Oof. Love to see it. Love to see it. Alrighty. So, with more dogs, with more dogs, when Irish, sorry. With more dogs comes an inevitable increase. Inevitable is a good word. What does that mean? That's a really good word. You might want to use this. You might want to learn this. So there are tons and tons of words in this article that are maybe new to you. And don't worry if they are. That's what I'm here to help with. So first off, inevitable. Let's learn that one. It means it will happen. You can't stop it. It will definitely happen. It's inevitable. For example, if you eat bad chicken, if you eat bad fish, it's inevitable you will get sick. There's no question. It will happen. It's inevitable. That's an adjective. Try to use this in the comments, but make it relevant to your life, or your, in this case, probably future. We talk about this with future usually. You could use this as an adverb as well. Let me give you an example with that one. Can I use purple here? Yeah, good. As an adverb, inevitably. That's the adverb. Oh my God, I forgot how to do a D. That was weird. It's the adverb. That's the adjective. So inevitably, I think inevitably you will come to London, right? It definitely will happen. Inevitably, you'll come. I think this word was taken from French. Probably. We steal everything. Again, we're British. We'll just take it. You can't avoid it. Yes, Bemba Jimenez. You're very, very good in these classes, I think. You contribute a lot. Thank you. You're a legend. Inevitable. Something you can't avoid. Inevitably, will you come to England? Inevitably, Ukraine will win. Love that example. Love that example. Oh, this one went dark. I'll die one day. It's inevitable. Okay, grammatically, it's great. It's great. Very dark though, you ladies. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need a hug or an ice cream? Like, yeah. Ooh, I like this. If you're lazy to study, getting low marks is inevitable. Love that. Good. Okay, we're off to a good start. This is our first word of the day. So, this word is, what do you think? B2, C1, or C2? I'll tell you in a moment. Those are some great examples you've given. Really well done. Make your notes. Make an example that you would use in your life. An example that you will need in the future. Some way that ensures you will inevitably use this word. Because when you learn it, make a note, make an example sentence. That's still not enough though. You need to find that word again in the future to make sure you remember it. Because when you learn a word, you remember it for like a day or two. After that, you forget. Then a month or two later, you see that word and you're like, oh, I learned this word. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? And you forgot, right? So you need to constantly remind yourself of these words, constantly find these words. So inevitable, where can I find the word inevitable in an article? I think, whose example was that earlier? Katerina. Inevitably Ukraine will win. Yeah, I think this word is used a lot when talking about the war at the moment. Very often I see this word, inevitable. So try to find this word in life, in material. So a few people think C1, B2, C1, at least a B2. So here's the thing. This is going to blow your mind. There's a really useful tool. If you type in Cambridge Text Inspector, you can find this. Let me show you. First of all, let me get rid of this. There we go. Just hide this for now. This one? Yeah. So this text inspector, you can put in an article into this machine, this tool. It's really, really useful. This will show you the levels of vocabulary in that article. Remember I asked you how much of an article do you understand? A lot of you said maybe 80%, 70%. Well, this breaks down exactly the levels of those bits of vocabulary. So, of course, A1, of course, most of those words are A1 words. So everyone understands that, right? It's really important to understand that just because an article in the Times, yeah, great publication, great outlet. Of course, the writer has a high level of vocabulary. I want you to learn this lesson very, very well, and I want you to hear me clearly on this. Just because you have a high vocabulary doesn't mean you need to use high vocabulary in every sentence. This is your proof. A well-written article will always have this pattern. Always. Mostly A1 words, and then look at C1 and C2. It's like hardly any. How many is there? 7 C2 words. Was it 13 or 16? I'm not really sure. For C1. That's not many words. You know? So this is a really important lesson I think everyone needs to learn when you want to take an exam. So yeah, also unlisted just means there's no record. So usually they are names. So someone's first name or the name of a university, or what was it Gizmodist? What was the thing in this article? Gothamist. Gothamist up the top there. Gothamist was the name of the website, the blog. So that would count as unlisted. This is a very good tool. Text Inspector. Just type in Cambridge Text Inspector. So they are the ones who make the exams. They will know. This is a very trustworthy source. And you can even, look at this, break the words down, which word is which. So a lot of you guessed about the level of inevitable. You can see there, it's somewhere, I've lost it, but it's a C1 level word. So you have just learned one C1 level word, inevitable. Rampant, I don't think was in that list, weirdly enough. If you can see rampant in there, let me know. Not really sure. But yeah, how crazy is that? So you should be able to know at least 50% of an article, because it sort of breaks down, fewer words at B1, B2, fewer words at C1, C2. That is a very good lesson to learn. When you give a speaking answer, it's more important that you use simple words to explain the point. The more important words, the higher level words, they are useful, but that isn't that's not giving all the meaning, is it? It's these words that I'm sure if you took away these words or substituted them for easy words, you'd understand the article exactly the same. Change fecal bacteria to poo. You've changed a bacteria as a C1 word. Change it to A1 and you still understand. Yeah. So I think everyone should know this tool and learn that lesson very it's very, very important, I think. Okay, so yeah, also, what else should you take away from this is that when you see an article and you're like, oh, an article from the Times, an article from wherever, my level isn't good enough for that. Yeah, actually it is. Your level is good enough. Look, can you understand 76 A1 words? Of course you can. You'll be fine. Yeah, you might need a dictionary for 7 C2 words, but that's fine. Sometimes I need a dictionary. I don't know every word in the dictionary. And this is the other point. Yeah, I own an English dictionary. I don't know every word in there. So learning word lists and the definitions is not enough. It's bullshit. When you see those videos of like, learn 1,000 words in half an hour, they are talking dictionaries. They will waste your hour. Don't watch them. Instead, learn how we learn in these sessions. I want to give you the tools so you can study alone. These IELTS Cafe sessions, you can study with me. I can help you if you have questions. Okay. Yeah, I find that so interesting that this was new information to me as well, right? So we're going to do the vocabulary, but I want to do this in a very interactive way. So if you have a question, I want you to ask it in the chat. And I'll help you with all the vocabulary that I think you will need, that I think you will use, you'll come across in the future. So that sentence I highlighted before, with more dogs, let's put that at the top there. It doesn't go up further. Bullshit. It's bullshit, sir. Can I? Oh, hello. There we are. But with more dogs comes an inevitable increase in fecal production. Ugh, such a gross sentence. So we did inevitable. That's good. And city authorities have vowed to crack down. Let's. Whoops. Hello. Who are you? Authorities have different color. Vowed to different color. Let's do I'm gonna do definitions in black, so let's do we do blue? Oh, we can, okay. Crack down on pet owners. Basil says, I guess on the B2 level. Oh, you guess you're a B2 level, so you understand 75% of vocabulary according to this. Yeah, so you can see that that's exactly where you should be. If you are understanding 80% of things, you're exactly where you should be. So don't be hard on yourself. You're doing great. Any more than that? Mwah. Love that. So I'm here to help you learn all this vocabulary and how to use it properly. So like I said also with inevitable, I want to come back to that one in a bit. Whoops. Inevitable. Yeah, pronunciation. We stress that one. Inevitable. So you hit ne. Inevitable. She was gonna marry this guy. It was inevitable. They were such a cute couple. They were always going to get married. It was inevitable. So here's the other tip I really want to give to you with speaking in your exam to sound natural. It's not just that you know the word, it's that you know how we use it. You need to show that you've used this word lots and it's just another word to you. It's not a special word. It's just another word. So yeah, when you say, it's inevitable. See what I did there? Let me compare. Yeah, next year I will go to Spain. It is inevitable that I will go to Spain. Compare that with a natural sounding thing. Yeah, next year I'll go to Spain. It's inevitable. Notice the difference. When it's natural, the feeling comes out. If it sounds like you've just learned it, there will be no emotion in it. There will be no... Basically, we need to see your mind doing this. We need to see that you're thinking. One of the best tips I ever got was from my French teacher in school. We did a French speaking test. And, man, I can't remember my French now, but in French, we said something like, the question was, what sports do you like? And I said, in French, just so everyone understands, well, in school we play football, but I think that's boring. Sorry. And she said, no. That's good. You added something you just thought of, so it doesn't sound scripted. when you said that, oh, but I think it's boring, that sounds really natural. So many people think this needs to be your answers need to be point by point, scripted, well thought out. No. The more natural it is, the more you're thinking on the fly. You're improvising. Really important point there. Yeah. So, you mean not to use more vocab? You just highlight that. Whoops, not this one. There we go. Yeah. Obviously, more vocabulary is better, but it's more important that you know how to use it. And when I say how, I mean the intonation, the feeling, what is going on in your mind when you say this word. The examiner will know the difference between you just learned this and, oh, you've been using this word forever. Like I said at the beginning of today, don't try to trick the examiner. Don't try to hack the exam. It's never going to work. Never going to work. Yeah. Spontaneity is important. Beba Jimenez. Yes, exactly that. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So let's break the next bits of vocabulary down. We can actually get rid of this one, I think. Ooh. Sorry. All right. Authorities, that's like the police, the council, have vowed to crack down on pet owners. So we've got two. They are both, that's a C2 and that's a C2. They're both C2 vocabulary items. So I honestly think that you are going to see these a lot. Are there any other? No. In this paragraph, those are the only two items I want to talk about. So to vow to do something, anyone know what that means? Oh, Christina's just used Google. Nice. But yeah, to vow to do something. It's like a promise. But like a strong promise. So if we imagine the authorities of New York making new rules of things. This guy. What is he doing? Again, like I said, from context, authorities have vowed to crack down on pet owners. Okay, we know from the article pet owners are the problem, right? When they do something bad. Okay, we know they're doing something bad. The authorities, what do? Well, okay, maybe promise isn't easy from context, but now you know. To crack down on pet owners. If you knew from context, oops, and it might not be easy. It sometimes isn't. It means to be tough or be severe. On bad behavior. Now, this could, when I say bad behavior, this could be a crime, or it could just be bad behavior in general. So in this case, I think it is a crime, right? When you leave your dog poo on the floor, I think that's an actual crime. So yeah, you vowed to crack down, promise to be tough on bad behavior. So you will see these in newspapers a lot. When they talk about any crime, especially that sentence together. The police have vowed to crack down on something. Here's the thing. Would you use this in your speaking exam? I would argue no. Why? Because it's a C2 level bit of vocabulary that you don't need to use at C2. Again, another tip. Just because it's a C2 level, you don't have to use it. Sometimes it doesn't sound natural to use that high vocabulary. Sometimes it sounds better to use something else. So let's say, I don't know. Let's say the speaking question in the exam is, you were a big brother or a big sister. How was your younger brother, your younger sister, were they naughty when you were young? And you might say, yeah, they were really naughty, but I vowed to my parents to crack down on my brother or sister. No, that sounds very unnatural. This is a perfect example of very unnatural vocabulary. Just because it's C2 level doesn't mean it sounds good to use it. No. In a regular, casual example like that, you would say, yeah, when I was young, my younger brother, my younger sister was very naughty, so I promised to my parents that I would be tough on them. And that made them behave. That sounds more natural. That would get a higher mark than this. So you have to know when we use it. It's not enough to just say, well, this is C2. That gets me a higher score. You see, that gives you problems. So I want you to learn all of these tips today. Yeah, it's too difficult thinking in English. I know, Keiko, I'm sorry. But yeah, so when would you use it then? Great question. So you wouldn't use it casually. These are C2 level words. You would find them in newspapers, in articles, in news reports, in formal conversations, in formal situations. So again, that's what I'm here to help you with. Not just learn the vocabulary, but learn when to use it. That's such an overlooked part of English. Not just learning the dictionary, learning when to use it. That's the difference between being a student and being a native speaker. The native speaker knows, okay, we use this then. Okay, now I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's good. Next, let's move on. Let's go down to no, I think it was up. This one's a really good one. A no-brainer. This is one you can use casually. Again, don't Google this. What do you think it means? looks bad, sorry. Okay, this is the example I'm going to give you. Someone offers you, do you want ice cream or do you want socks? You want to say, obvious. That's really easy. It's a no-brainer. So who got that right in the comments? Let's have a look. Okay. Katerina, that's a good guess. A person without a brain, someone stupid. Good guess. That sounds like that, but it's not that. Yeah, a no-brainer is like Aaron Munoz said. Something easy to decide without thinking. Giovanni Lima said, a person who does not think before acting. Good guess, but it's different. Where was the sentence? Oh, right here. Taking your shoes off is a no-brainer. Like Beba Jimenez. It's an easy decision. Great job, Beba Jimenez. You're great. You're really good at this. Yeah. It's an easy decision. It's obvious. It's a no-brainer. So again, that's the meaning, yes, but I want you to practice your pronunciation and use of this word with me right now. It's a no-brainer. How do you say it? You don't just say, oh, well, going to England was a no-brainer for me. No. You need to feel it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. 2 levels of stress. No-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You say this when you want to say, wow, it's obvious. Wow, it's an easy question. So you need to say it with that emotion. If you say it without emotion, you haven't said it right. Sorry, I burped. Yeah, something else. There's a Justin Bieber song called No Brainer? Really? I didn't know that. Wow, interesting. Yeah, let me move the chat over here. Easier for me to read. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So when you say it, it's a no-brainer. For example, if I asked you, what's the best English learning channel on YouTube? What would your answer be? Psh, it's a no-brainer. You don't have to do psh with it. But if you show the emotion, it's a no-brainer. So you need the emotion when you say these things. You need to show that you fully understand what you are saying. Not just enough. It is not enough. Oh, hello.
Coffee for Ali from Alexander Belarutsky. Great tips, Ali. Thanks for the session.
Alexander, thank you for the coffee, mate. That's so kind of you. Great tips. Thanks for the session. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you. Yeah, lots and lots of tips today. Today is a tough one. I'm gonna upload this as its own video, I think. What's the best YouTube channel? Oh, it's a no-brainer. Ali's channel, of course. Exactly. Papa teach me. Oh. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So you're really saying, wow, it's obvious. Okay, we've done. No-brainer. There was another one. See, I would argue a no-brainer. It's not C2, but it is that level of naturalness. If you said it's a no-brainer in a speaking exam, I'd be like, oh, okay. You didn't learn that from a book. You learned that from living in English. Not necessarily England. You live in English. An English-speaking country. Or with English-speaking friends. You learn that naturally. That is key to getting that high level in your exam. Alrighty. The other one. It was the first paragraph right there. Researchers at the college have published a study that, in its essence, attempts to establish how much... Yeah. Well, that's the next thing I want you to be able to use. So it's not very clear, is it? I need to work on my writing. Which is weird for a teacher. I have bad writing. So in essence, just from context, this one, if you didn't know it, you should know from context. Okay, they have published a study that, in essence, attempts to establish how much poo is in your house. What do you think that means? Just from context. There we go. Yeah, nice one. Regisa has got it. Exactly. From context. This one, kind of easy. So, again, we're learning this together. Not everything will be easy from context. So, it's a good tip to a point, you know? Sometimes you do need a teacher. Sometimes you do need a tutor or a friend who speaks English who can help you study. But yeah, what was this? This was a C2 level word. No, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Cambridge says it's C2. It's a C2. Everything we've done is C2 so far. Which is weird. I wanted to do more C1, but we've done more C2. So you've learned a lot of words today. You've learned when not to use them, when to use them, how to use them. And this is the next one. When you want to say, basically, in a better way, use this, in essence. For example, I have to use this for my job. When people ask me, so what do you do? And I say, well, in essence, I'm a teacher. Because I hate saying I'm a YouTuber. Somehow I feel like that's worse. But I know it's more popular to be a YouTuber, but let's say... But yeah, I often use it to talk about my job. So I could say, like, I don't know, the IELTS. IELTS is, in essence, a way to test your command of English. Yeah, again, another tip for you. One of my friends, who is a native speaker, but because she wasn't born in an English-speaking country, she had to take the IELTS, the academic IELTS. And her score was not a 9. Her overall score was a 7.5. A native speaker. So when you think a native speaker will always get a 9, no. The IELTS is, in essence, a way of testing your command of English. So if you don't know that and you do the test, You won't get a 9. You need to know that you need to know how IELTS works. You need to know what is the examiner looking for. If you go to the test, you're a native speaker, and you're a bit tired, you didn't sleep well, you have a hangover, you won't get a 9. You just won't. So keep this in mind. Being a native speaker is not a guarantee of a high IELTS score. Again, 7.5. I think she got I think it was a 6 in writing. 6 in writing. Native speaker. So yes, Biba Jimenez says, that's why I don't believe in exams. They don't really show your proper level. So this is the thing. You could be able to talk to anyone in English, communicate well, no problems in understanding each other. That won't necessarily mean you get a good exam score. The proof is what I just said about my friend. And like I said, the IELTS is a way to test your command of English. So when you want to do an exam, there's a reason, a very good reason why you should take a course, why you should take lessons to study for that exam. Because you need to understand how the exam works. You need to understand what to expect. What does the examiner want from you to give you that high mark? Again, that's what I'm here to help you with. I'm developing a course for IELTS, which also could be for other exams too, but you need to learn the test more than anything else, I think. Yeah, so as Chala said right there, sometimes in the speaking section, you need to ask questions about topics you have no idea. Yeah, maybe you've never seen these topics before. So again, it's not just how good is your English, it's how good can you answer these questions. This is why you need to learn topic-specific vocabulary. Let's say your weakness is, I don't know, science vocabulary. Go to the Times website, type in the Times newspaper, then click on the tab that says science or health or technology, business, economics, whatever your weakness is, read articles related with those topics. Do what we did today. Break down those words. Which ones are the high-level words? What don't you understand? And yes, you might need an English-speaking friend or a teacher, someone to help you learn how to use these words. Really important. Unabi Band, don't worry. I will save this video. If you miss the end, don't worry. I'll upload it afterwards. We're all good. Also, we've only got one more word to go, I think. It was in the same sentence, right here, the affluent Upper East Side. Affluent. I'll make it quick, don't worry. It describes a group or an area of wealth. So, quick point to make with this. You don't use this, it's an adjective. You don't use it to describe, well, not a person. You wouldn't really say he or she is affluent. You would say, in London, the area of Kensington is an affluent area. The people who live in Beverly Hills in California are quite affluent. That's a group. So it describes a group or an area where there are lots of wealthy people with lots of money. Wealthy people. This one is a C1 level vocabulary. So yeah, honestly, between C1 and C2, I think the only real difference is frequency that you see these words. Like affluent, you'll see that word a lot, I think. Crackdown on, vow to, in essence, I think you see in essence a lot. But whatever. Who am I to argue with Cambridge? Kunjim. Is it live? Yeah. It's live. It's happening right now, bud. Yeah. This one. I like this one. The affluent neighborhood had large houses, landscape lawns, and private swimming pools. Perfect example. Perfect example. Like wealthy, but for people? But for groups? Sorry. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it means wealthy, but for groups or an area of your city. Example, in your city, your country, which area is the affluent area? Do you come from an affluent area? Did you grow up near an affluent area? How would you use the word affluent? When I grew up, the area I grew up in really wasn't very affluent at all. Some of my friends, they came from a more affluent area. Notice I'm being descriptive. This is a very descriptive word of an area or a group of people. And again, being descriptive with your vocabulary is a good indicator of English language skill. So I hope you've learned a few lessons today. Not only learn the word and what it means, learn how to use it. Learn when we use it and when we don't use it. Make your examples. Try to find the example in a future article, future video, a future segment in the media. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's close that. So that brings us to the end of today's IELTS Cafe session. This place is closing, so I'm going to have to leave. Thank you so much for joining. I will upload this video as a separate video. So if you missed it, don't worry. It will be there for you to learn, to study with later. Come hang out with me next time at the IELTS Cafe. This has been really, really fun. I hope you learned a lot today. Thanks for watching.